Are we ready?
Ready.
All right, good morning everyone and happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Wearing hearts. We are here on February 14th, 2024, 9:20 a.m. in room 119 of Darien Town Hall and also on Zoom. We have a quorum right now. We have Elizabeth Hall, Colleen Calvitas, Kirsten Dunlap, Tracy Whitehead, and Sarah Schwartz, and I want to call this meeting to order. The first order of business, hold on, I need to send that to you right now, right? You want me to just
I was
send
able
this?
to kind of paste it from,
Okay.
so I'm good.
Okay. I just saved it, but all right. So the first call to order that I want to let you guys know is that I received a letter last week from Jackie. She said, I'm writing to inform you of my intention to resign as a volunteer effective on Friday. I know. I've enjoyed the opportunity to serve the board and working with the wonderful volunteers on worthwhile projects. You're making great progress on harmonizing all the beautiful plants and flowers. And please reach out if you need an extra set of hands. So thank you to Jackie for her support over the years, and we'll miss her. So I want to let you guys know about that. And I've reached out to Linda. She will, she's actually already posted the job to the board. So we'll see. There was someone interested last year, but they have not expressed interest again. So Alicia's here. So Alicia, Jackie has resigned from the commission. So if we know of anybody who we think would be a good person to be on the commission, it did occur to me that there's no harm in us reaching out to people too. We don't have to wait till someone shows interest. If anybody's like, oh, this person would be great, it doesn't hurt to just ask. So
Is there a requirement? I feel like at one point it came up like a Republican, Democrat, Independent, even though this isn't
good.
partisan, but
It's a good question. I think we're somewhat balanced right now, so I think we're okay.
Okay,
I don't know for sure.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there had to be a party equality or something like
But
that.
if it's not even, then that person can always come in as an independent, even if they're not.
Gotcha.
Like they can just be labeled.
Gotcha. So far it hasn't gotten too heated politically.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
We're sticking to gardens.
We've stayed away from that. Okay,
was a
next
joke.
thing.
Flowers were so political, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So next item on the agenda is to review and approve minutes. Instead of me reading them, can we skip that today?
Yeah,
Is that
let's
everybody
skip it.
clear with everybody? Does everybody agree? Does anybody have any changes? No? Does anybody want to vote to approve them? Okay, Elizabeth? Colleen?
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks. We are all set on the minutes. Thank you, everybody. All right, treasurer's report.
Did everyone get my report last night or yesterday?
I have it, yes, thanks. Does
Okay.
everybody else?
Yeah.
I have to carry my line number over, but our line account has $13,949.99, which is showing on the bottom of my calculation. I forgot to put it in my line account number.
Tracy, can you repeat that number real
I only
quick?
did two things.
Tracy, can you repeat that number again, please?
It's $13,949.99. And you'll see it's at the bottom of my closing balance, on the bottom of the sheet. That's net of the two bills that I paid before I left. I reimbursed Elizabeth and submitted a bill for the little fairy lights that we tried doing for the town hall, the little solar fairy lights. And then the stuff we got from the garden center for the urns for Christmas. So that's it. So that's all I paid this month.
Okay, okay, got it. Now, sorry, I had printed out the first one, the 2021. So I was like, what's going on? Okay, got it. All right, great.
So,
All right, thank you.
We're in good shape, and I have not reached out yet to collect the payments from the library and Penny Glassmeyer's, Grove Street Plaza, and also David Genovese, so, and DR Bank. So that, we'll have that money that will come in as well.
Do you have we do know how much that is, it's a sizable number, right, around 6,000 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna get us up to around $19,000, $20,000.
Something like that, yeah.
Sweet, all right, so, let's actually come back to that, because I do wanna, discuss how we can use that balance, but we might need to figure out exactly what we have to, until we can determine exactly.
So, here, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the balance to collect is
Mhm.
4,278.
4,278.
And that's the library, Grove Street, DR Bank's maintenance as well, David Genevieve's maintenance and the baskets, as well as the reimbursement for the brackets that we ordered for.
Great, thank you, Tracy. All right, great. So we're still looking about, that's about 14, so yeah, $18,000 in our budget.
Right.
Still, great. All right, that's,
One expense I have next month, I ordered the brackets, the additional brackets that we talked about that were going over by the Corbin District. So I did order those, and I will have that charge to put through in March. You're
okay,
gonna ask me what that dollar amount is, and I'm gonna tell you it is. I ordered 13 brackets at $41 each. It was $533.
okay,
So, but that's a one-time charge, and
okay,
so, and you're getting reimbursed by David on one of them at least,
okay.
so,
Okay, great, thank you.
sure.
I think I want to keep moving and then maybe come back to I put in the agenda when I updated it, discuss allocation for the rest of this year and discuss budget for next year. But I almost feel like we need to have some discussions about things first and then maybe come back and address how we want to spend those. But I do like thinking and planning that out a little bit. So let's come back to those ideas, because it'd be really nice to figure out how we want to spend that, but we'll come back. Anyway, next thing, item number 4, I don't think there's much update, but I keep it in there as a reminder, Instagram, website, and email correspondence. I can answer quickly on the email correspondence. There hasn't been any updates that, any noteworthy emails or anything.
Yeah, as far I know, last time we talked about starting a campaign of tagging our commission in any photos you see around town of any beauty, such as snowfall, things at the beach, bulbs popping up. I mean, we could start that at any time.
Yeah, that's great.
Does anybody know, or like I'll see a lot of like postings where it's like almost like a graphic designer kit, like where you know what I mean? It's like a flyer sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know what program that is, or does anybody have expertise in that?
So I use very, very basic, but I just use Apple products,
Okay.
and they have a flyer, which
Okay.
I've created
Okay.
things from before.
Where do you get that?
So in Pages, do you have
Yeah.
Apple products?
Mhm.
So in Pages, if you go to new,
Mm-hmm.
it will give you like just blank page, or it will give you resume,
Okay,
or it will
so
give you
in
different template options. It's down
Okay.
there. If you
Okay.
scroll through, and I've messed around with a few of different ones, they do make it very, very easy.
Okay.
And they look decent. I used it for Friends of Gorham's Pond flyer, some other flyer, Lost Kayak.
Canva also has a lot of options.
What's
And
it called?
Canva has options. The only thing
It's
about
a little
Canva is
bit
it
harder.
harder, and don't you have to pay for it?
There's premium features, but like if you're not getting too fancy, I feel like, especially if you're like importing
What is it called?
Canva,
Okay.
but yeah, we do get kind of sucked into paying for it.
But I agree, I think that's a good one, and that's who some other people use, other commissions, so thank you for that, and I don't think there's any website update, although now that we are down a member, we will need to have the website updated with Jackie's name removed. But I don't think
And I
there's
should
much.
probably put something, like, when we had those 2 openings, I put something on Instagram.
Oh,
And I
that's
did
good.
get some DMs about it.
That's a good idea.
Um,
That's a great idea. Great. Okay, moving on, weeding and pruning report, there's probably not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Actually, before I left,
Oh, yeah.
Colleen and I and Elizabeth, we really pruned down the Habitat Hill.
Nice.
We cleaned up a lot of the stuff and kind of really readied it for the winter, and had a huge pile of stuff for Public Works to take away, which I hope by now they have. But no, we got that done before, so.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
That's great, thank you.
The roof did come off the door, and so I have the fixings for the roof, the hook and the bow and the ribbon, and I have it in my, at Town Hall on my desk, so that got saved.
Great, great, thank you. Okay, let's move into Adopt a Garden. Alicia, do you want to start with landscape
Sure.
pricing?
So finally, maybe about 2 weeks ago, Martin, who's our contact at Eastern Land Management, sent the individual proposals, which we forwarded to everybody.
Yeah.
One problem is that 8 gardens had the location on them and 5 did not, and about 9 o'clock last night, he correlated which gardens those were, so we haven't updated that yet. And I couldn't print the sheet out that I emailed either because you can't read it at all unless it's on legal paper. But later today and this week, we can plug in the numbers. The other piece that was missing was the maintenance cost. I didn't even open that last night. Did you look at what
I read
that
it this
said?
morning, yes, 20,000 for the year for all gardens.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And $350 for the watering truck per day. I wrote him back this morning to see if I was like, I hope that means
Everything.
everything for
And
one
water.
day.
The
And
one thing
water.
on the maintenance I thought looked high, I know it would be just averaged out, but I think he was accounting for, was it like an hour and a half per garden once a week?
He had told me when I spoke to him on the phone that he was gonna allocate about 30 to 45 minutes per garden, averaged out.
Okay.
But I actually didn't read closely this morning in the document.
And that's not for the
so-
watering, that would just be like swinging by to trim and pull any weeds or,
Yeah.
I thought that seemed high.
And-
And to the time quote, like if you were on near water and Post Road, if you're visiting that once a week, I mean, I think we would maybe only need like,
10 minutes.
yeah, or like every other week or
Right.
every 3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
that seems like a lot.
It is a lot.
So I think that number could come down a lot.
Yeah, so it's great because we're making progress in terms of getting closer. Yeah, but it
Of course,
looks,
one
yeah.
other thing, on there too, he had listed tax, and we have a tax exempt number, so
Oh, I'm glad
that
you
chips
mentioned that.
away a tiny bit of it.
How does that work? I don't know anything how that works.
We just sent him a copy of the town tax exempt number, and they don't charge a sales tax. We do that with the garden center
Okay,
and beds and borders and all that, we don't pay sales tax.
okay.
Great, good catch.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a couple
Oh,
flowers more.
Yeah, no, it will help. So basically what he did for the maintenance is he just charged a monthly rate for all gardens, April through November. And you're right, he charged tax, so get that taken out, so still around 19.5. That does not include any crabgrass or nudge seed control, lime application, and mulching. So we do need to think about mulching.
Yeah, well, he included it in the initial installations, but then not in we probably want to add that in for the annual.
Yeah,
But so if that's 20,000 divided by, we're also not going to release for sponsorship the fire station, the Tokenique and Old Farm Road where there's no curbing, and then the train station one is on hold. And then they are, which is a nice gesture, complimentary. They'll constantly switch out the planters at Town Hall and maintain those at no charge to us. So we'll plug all those numbers in and see what it looks like.
yeah, great. And I had sent out a so because when I reviewed the proposal, I didn't know what a lot of these plants were exactly. I created a document, very
So,
rough, not great. I mean, I was basically waiting for my daughter and I just looked up the flower and screenshot it and took a photo and then I dumped it in a slideshow, so.
I thought you did a good job.
I
I
was-
thought you did a great job.
Thanks, I
I
was
have
like,
it.
oh, this
I
is
thought
kind
it was
of.
great.
no, it's really good for those of us who need help with our flowering.
Well, I need help with the flowers, so it gave an idea. Now, someone mentioned, oh no, I saw yellow. I realized some of these pictures, like, for example, on proposal 1, this bunny grass is the stuff in the foreground, not the background. So, what I did is I printed out each proposal, and then I printed out each slide, and I put them together so you can get a sense of each garden, what it looks like. Now, the slides could be better, I could add what each plant is on them. But as an overall thought, we need to discuss, what do we think? Are we okay with these plants? Is there enough native? He had selected them based on them doing well, being fairly drought resistant, is that right?
Yeah.
And doing well in gardens. But we need to, as a group, decide, are we good with these? Can we move ahead? Because that's kind of important as far as these proposals mean nothing if we don't like the plants.
Well, totally,
that are
and
in
I
them.
only quickly glanced at what
Yeah.
you put together, and I don't really have knowledge in that area.
Do you guys want to do it right now while we're all together? Just go through? I can hold the picture up and we can talk about it.
Sure.
Unless there's any better way.
Let me go get my eyeglasses.
And I know
Yeah,
that Martin
sure.
did say he would also put together, once we are okay with that, he'll put together like some form of a rendering that we could show to sponsors.
Great,
Um,
great.
so again, we should get right anything we wanna sub out.
Okay, great.
And then again, I mean, each of these gardens, depending on their size, you know, or we're, not we, but sponsors will be paying a lot of money to plant, I think, so once stuff is in there, that's what it is.
That's right.
So I don't wanna rush through,
Exactly.
the details of that.
Exactly, it's important. I also, because Colleen and Jackie had spent a lot of time this summer with Nielsen's, who had also put a lot of thought into what those gardens could and should be, I thought, why don't we take all that information as well and use it? So I have the document they sent out last July, and so that we could compare and contrast, which, well, I haven't actually done that on my own, but I thought it was probably worth the 5 minutes, if you guys are good with that, to do it right now.
Sure.
All right, great. All right, so proposal number 1, ilex, bunny dwarf grass, echinacea, and vinca. All right, so ilex, vinca.
And are those the color, are you showing that for a plant, or
I
is that
pulled up
also color?
exactly, no, exactly,
Okay.
I typed in literally exactly the words he put. So he put vinca cora pink.
Wait,
This
sorry,
is,
which one is this? Which email is this? Just so I wanna fill it.
Are you doing it by opportunity number?
This is Post Road at Hollow
She
Tree.
sent it like a few days.
I actually sent it
Couple of days
yesterday,
Oh,
from the
yesterday.
snowstorm. I sent a document with like so much, sent an email with so many
Yeah, the
documents.
most.
I printed out all of the proposals,
Okay,
so,
Did you,
Great.
if you pull up the spreadsheet I did, that may be easier
and I just
than
unblurred.
opening and closing proposals.
Yes, exactly. I just had it here so that I could, but yes, I have that.
Yeah, I have it.
All right, so we have ilex. This bunny dwarf grass, it's actually a bad photo. It's this grass right here. It looks a little brownish to me. It's in the foreground, it's hard to see. And then the echinacea, purple coneflower is this one. That's a native. So pollinator pathway will be happy about that one. And then this vinca cora pink. So in my opinion, I love the ilex. I think it's neat and clean. I love the vinca. I like pink. I think the coneflower is great because I think we're bringing in the natives. The bunny grass is fine. I like grasses. That one looks a little bit brown to me, but if that's what he recommends, I'm okay with it. What are your guys' thoughts?
I see that.
Of
Well,
course.
I say yes to the echinacea for sure, because that blooms so long. So I think that's really good, but with a vinca, it only blooms like in spring, early summer, right? And then it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's really hard to weed.
yeah. Yeah, it's a pain in the neck to weed.
Yeah. But they're gonna weed it, so. I don't know.
So I had Vinca in my old house and
Yeah.
it was established, and in
Right.
one area, it was fantastic. It was a thick garden, or thick, ground cover
Yeah. I have
of
it
glossy
too.
green leaves, and it was gorgeous.
Mhm.
And had these little purple flowers, you're right, for only a month, but the rest of the
Yeah.
time, it was very nice.
Yeah,
But
shiny.
it did well in one place and did not do well on the other side of the house. So,
Right.
if it's the right, if they know it's the right thing and it comes in well, I think it can be great, but I think, so I don't know, that's where I kind of don't have the knowledge base on that one. On this garden, Colleen, this was garden, this one is Post Road.
Yeah.
I couldn't open that document.
That's
the bottom of
that's
Hollow
a
Tree.
railroad
At the
station.
bottom of Hollow Tree.
Oh, yeah.
So, what Nielsen's had said was there is existing already a hydrangea, and there's black-eyed Susans, and there's a hosta.
The hydrangea would stay there.
Okay, so that's what I think we need to put,
What are you
like, on the
keeping?
document.
Yeah.
We need to add what's staying. So we need to keep the hydrangea,
Keep the black-eyed Susans,
you think keep black-eyed Susans?
because those bloom all the time too, like
These
well
ones
into
are
the
dead.
fall.
They're very sparse and.
Yeah, and Nielsen
so we
said
should put in
remove
more.
them too.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem with, so I think we have to remove black-eyed Susans.
I
And remove and divide hosta, it said. So,
But I don't think we're removing it, we're just dividing it, aren't we?
divide,
what's
divide
the
Yeah.
sunny-
So
Sorry,
keep
what's
the-
that?
What does that look like in the
So
summer?
keep the hosta,
what,
but
the
divide it,
bunny?
Bunny grass, does it
Right.
look like Tixie?
sorry, two of you are talking at the same time. 1 second, Tracy. What'd you say,
Sorry.
Colleen? No.
No, I was just curious because there's a lot of the bunny grass here, and I'm just curious to know what it looks like after it blooms. I was just trying to Google it. Does it, Tracy, do you know, does it look like tick seed after? Did you hear me? Bunny fountain grass?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I
Did
know
we
one
set
thing.
up a meeting with Martin, maybe to
Yeah,
ask
maybe
these
you and I should
questions?
meet with him.
These are
One
good
thing he
questions.
mentioned about the grass when I was on site with him was that at all these gardens, you know, like, so having something like the ilex in there, but adding the grass for a different type of texture and height rather than just like shrubbery.
Right.
well, grasses are also really drought resistant, so that
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
And they take up space.
Right.
Yeah.
But that bunny grass then won't get too tall, right? Because that's Ed's concern, making sure you
No,
don't
and they're
block.
gonna be there,
Right.
you know, I think if we change it from weekly to bi-weekly, they'll be on top of the maintenance.
Yeah. But in the picture, it shows very short.
Good,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
So
right.
this garden would be pink and purple, right?
That one looks pink. I don't see any purple.
We could put the black-eyed Susans in though, because those are so pretty to add a yellow.
Oh, yellow.
I mean, the black-eyed Susans, I just feel like they're so sturdy. They last for so long, like well into the fall.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
one
So
thing to
nice.
discuss with him is to make sure it's something that's gonna run the whole time. And then one note I had to discuss with him as well for adding money in is to like pop in some, mums in the fall in different places to
nice.
like keep
Yeah.
it going in the fall, so it's not just all green.
I like
Yeah.
that idea.
But I think that's a good overall question we need to ask him, like,
Okay.
Proposal 2. So this is already proving to me that I think we need to spend more time diving into this.
I know, I'm wondering
Yeah.
if like he should be here for.
well, I think
like
we
a-
should definitely go through this.
Yeah, let's go through it at a top level right now. Maybe not dig into the weeds, for better or for worse, like, but
Okay,
like.
but like what if we said proposal 1 possibly added in?
Possibly, yeah, and
Possibly
add some
added.
thoughts. Because it might be like someone's like, no, I hate that, and then we just take it out. or
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have to review.
So
Yeah.
possibly add in black-eyed Susan.
Possibly adding black or keeping, if he thinks they can stay, because that was Nielsen's who thought.
But
But
keep, and keep the hydrangea.
keep the hydrangea
That one
and
is
keep the hosta.
very sad, that hydrangea
Is
that's
it?
there.
Is it?
Yeah,
And again, Nielsen's was there, I mean, not that anything's dramatically changed since August, but I happen to live by this one, so I kind of know what it looks like throughout the year.
Yeah, but if they're gonna water now,
Yes, that's,
you know,
yeah,
that little,
it's true.
that poor hydrangea, you know,
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
so thirsty.
But then
He's
again,
such a
for the,
thirsty
I
plant.
think it may be hard to cherry pick what to keep, because if he's got this whole scheme, and then we're saying keep a hydrangea, then when it's planted, the old blue hydrangea may look very random with like the pinks and the greens.
That's true.
So it's, you know what I'm saying, like it may
Yeah.
throw off the cohesiveness and it may
That's
stand
true.
out.
That's true. All right, I am prepared to give him a little bit of creative license when it comes to
Yes.
these gardens. I mean, he's the landscaper, so I am okay with that.
Yeah, and he could like say, oh, okay, the hydrangea, I can work with a hydrangea if I do this.
Yeah.
Like maybe,
Which maybe
Or
makes
not.
me think, on the day that they're planting,
yeah.
maybe we need to be present. Maybe we as a commission, there are
split up.
9 of us, we split up, we each are responsible for a garden and we oversee that day when they're there. Because it'd be
Yeah.
hard for one of us to be at all the plantings, but to just kind of be present, to have an opinion.
Yeah.
I think you can be there before they pull the stuff too, or they're
Right.
doing it all a day.
Yeah, I don't know, right, so we need to get that
Okay,
answer.
so I'm just gonna put in the notes, possibly keep the hydrangea and black-eyed Susans, and that, just to throw it out as if he's like, no way, then we'll
Sure.
shut it down.
Sure,
And that hosta, to divide that hosta, because that
Yes.
hosta is actually a good filler. And,
yeah.
you know, it could be like a good ground cover to keep weeds down and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
established and happy looking
Yeah.
in this picture.
Yeah.
Number 2, proposal number 2, post road and near water.
Exactly the same.
All right, so he said, his proposal is ilex again, this nice, ilex. The Penicodium burgundy bunny dwarf fountain grass, so the same fountain grass again, which is this one.
Yeah, I think it's identical.
Oh, you're right, it's
identical.
identical, sorry, same thing. So it's the same 4 plants.
Because we had asked, you know, we had decided to come up with like a cohesive vision. I do think
Right.
that there
Yes.
should be something in there that differentiates it a little bit.
Yes.
But that way, you know, people are driving around and aside from the sign are like, oh, that's a beautification garden.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And I know that Jackie, that hydrangea there is very happy. And Jackie had told me that everybody on the street loves that
I love that.
hydrangea. So we need to make sure that they do keep that hydrangea there. And look at this picture, it's huge and
Do you
it
know
looks
what
happy.
color that hydrangea is?
It's a blue.
It's blue, okay. So we'll have to make sure he knows that that
Isn't
hydrangea
there
should
also,
stay.
on that particular one, doesn't that one also have the shrub roses?
Yes, it has roses.
Mhm.
What color are the roses?
Pink.
Oh, pink. Okay.
I don't know if those, I mean, we'll have to find out from him overall what's being kept.
Yeah.
It
I-
doesn't look very good in this picture.
It's a little, I think it's probably never been pruned.
Yeah.
And for a while it was blocking, there's a crosswalk that goes through that one, and I know
Right.
when we were there, he commented to me about like the thorns and the bees with the school crosswalk.
Yes.
And even to that comment about the hydrangea, I think we just happen to know that comment because we have a member who lives on that road.
Yeah.
I'm sure in every, like I live right by that one, like, I think in every garden, you're gonna have some neighbor that's like, oh, what happened to, you know, such and such plant?
Mhm.
So I think, you know,
We're
but I
gonna,
think this is going to be dramatically better.
Yes.
than
Mhm.
maybe the affection someone felt for a particular plant, they won't miss, you know?
Well, I'm thinking, you know, when we pull some of these things out, I mean, I might just go around with my husband's truck, take
Right.
some of these things
Yeah.
and relocate them.
Yes.
Because we can always,
So we don't throw them out.
you know, I can always use more roses at town hall by that left window. And we can always go down that hill under the birches with things.
great,
So
great.
we could recycle some of this stuff.
Well, we
Mhm.
could, I think rather than that, like you having to follow them or guess what location they're at, we could ask them to drop off anything that looks replantable, like, I don't know where, like at town hall in a section, and then it could be replanted, you know,
Right.
as we please.
Right.
I think it also may be difficult, again, based on timing, to have each of us at a garden, like wondering when they're gonna get there.
Oh, yeah, no, we'd have to,
I think what we're doing now is probably better, like knowing what's gonna be planted, what's gonna be saved, rather than having to try timing being there.
Yeah, and
Different.
this hydrangea, I will say, like, I walk by it all the time, I think it's gorgeous, hydrangeas are my favorite. But like of all of the things that you wanna keep small, like, that is an elementary school crosswalk.
That's exactly what just occurred to me
I
when we
mean,
were just
it-
saying
it-
that.
it
That one
is-
shouldn't be there. Maybe
I-
that
it
one's
It
been
takes,
used.
it takes up basically
Yeah.
the whole space.
Yeah, I see that.
So
It's-
we can't really, and that's my point, is
Yeah.
that,
You gotta kinda lean
you
into
know,
we're
like
doing it
you
different.
think, like I recently painted my house, this is a not great example, I'm like, oh, I love it gray, well, we changed it to white, I'm like, I love the white, you know, I think you don't
Yeah.
know what you're missing, and that large plant prevents anything else from kind of being there.
Well, then maybe we should own it, in that, like, we should say, it's a potential hazard, it's only getting bigger, it's a beautiful plant, we're gonna
Right.
save this plant, we're donating it to the school can plant it wherever they want, or whatever, something along those lines, so that we have a message, such that if anybody emails us angry, you know, I noticed that plant got just, you know, removed, we
Yeah.
can say, it has a new happy home,
Right.
it was becoming a danger.
And it really, like, it's bigger than half the
Okay.
kids at the school.
Yeah, oh, okay,
So
that's not good.
that's actually
Yeah.
awesome
Also,
that we're.
notice
That is
on the
dangerous.
We just put
Ilex
that on there
there,
then.
he's recommending the 21 to 24-inch one there. On Hollow Tree, he's recommending the 24 to 30-inch one. So he is, I think, keeping that visually in mind.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, he was very clear on all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I know I mentioned it was probably a few months ago, but he does all of the downtown Stamford Association gardens, so he's very familiar with, you know, town rules and safety and
Right.
roadways.
Yeah.
But kind of to what you just said, I really think that it would be impossible to see this beautifully brand new planted, mulched for the first time ever, shiny new sign and say, where's such and such plant,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
All right, great.
Especially if you plant that hydrangea, just even like, there's bald spots all along.
Well, on that
and
corner of
we-
Henley where the
Yeah.
chain link fence is, you can literally,
Yeah.
like, we could specifically say,
Just
just
move
move
it.
it across the
Yeah.
street right there on this
Yeah.
prominent corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great, great, love it. All right, so by the way, even though he hadn't labeled the proposals, he told me that he went in order. So,
Well, and I have it, what I did is I cut out our guide and stapled it to it, and then on that spreadsheet I sent, I put, like, if he called it Darien 6, then next to that I put the location and Garden 6, like sometimes
great.
so that's on there on that.
So then number 3 is that Norotan Heights, what is that? What is
I
number
have
3?
I have Darien 6 next. I did it in, our order of gardens,
Okay,
less the ones that he didn't identify, but go,
okay,
does
okay.
Darien 3 say a location?
No,
Okay,
Darien
so we have to
3
skip
doesn't.
that one.
Opportunity 14161 matches up with, I think, the Norotan train station.
Yeah, because he told me he went in order, so, which would be Darien train station.
But that one
So
we're
it's a
not
bit of a
doing.
guess.
So should we skip proposal 3 and then we'll
Let's
figure out
skip
again?
proposal 3. He did put in these plants, hydrangeas, which I thought these bobos were pretty, and this hornbeam and some coneflower. I thought it looked pretty.
Beautiful.
I don't know where it's going, but it looks
We have to
nice.
skip
So
3,
we'll-
4, 5, because those
so-
are all ones that didn't have a location.
4, I'm pretty sure, is Pear Tree Point Beach, because he talked about reestablished and a bench. But that's fine. We'll skip over Pear Tree, so, because that, or I mean, number 4, because it's just grass anyway. Number 5,
We don't know where that one is.
we don't know what that one is at all, so we'll skip over that.
We know 6. 6 is the paw print market, formerly
Oh,
sponsored
right.
one.
6
So
is,
it's-
pro-
It's Post Road where you're getting onto
Oh,
because
yeah.
he didn't put
the
it on
11
here.
entrance ramp.
So wait, I'm sorry, it's Post Road and the 11.
Yeah, it's our garden
It's an
number
island.
6.
It's a little island there.
It looks
Yeah.
like this, like if you're getting on the
Yeah.
highway, like right past Shake Shack and Paw Print Market.
Okay.
The bridal,
No,
right past
sorry.
that bridal shop, almost across from that bridal
Right,
shop.
the sweet. Okay, so for 6, he said reestablish bed at the sign at the bottom of the exit ramp. Prepare for planting and install plants listed. So here he suggested this hydrangea bobo, this big one. He suggested white vinca, and he suggested this Rosa X Flower Carpet Supreme Monrovia Rose container. Which, sorry for the picture, but I found Monrovia, but their marketing of it was a garden, so it's just the dark pink one in the background, not obviously the whole border bed there. So it looks pretty. Do we have an issue with no natives?
Well, that's a perfect spot for natives, really, because you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about the
it's so
bees.
sunny.
It's not a pedestrian one.
Yeah. Do we
Yeah.
want to suggest some? I don't know what to suggest. I don't know the plan.
And just to keep in mind as we go along, I mean, obviously, the theme is kind of pink.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we want to mix that up so that, let's see, maybe other things are not all pink, but.
We could throw some of that purple echinacea in there. Because with the
And that's
echinacea.
native?
Yeah, that's native.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that with that, unfortunately, like a lot of deer and rabbits love that. But in that island, I can't see a deer crossing over that busy street to get onto the island.
Oof.
I'm trying to think, is there woods behind?
I feel like they're deer everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would it draw them over there?
I know, I was having to say.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I don't
thinking
want
of
to
the
feed
same
them.
thing.
I don't want them to
Woody
think of
area.
it like a feeder.
Yeah.
I definitely think down by the Corbin district, that garden down there, we have to be cautious. We should have deer resistant plants because there's a lot of deer over there.
That's the one though. That's the one we're talking about, right?
No,
No.
she's talking
I'm
about
talking
when
about-
you're getting off of 11 versus we're talking about
Oh,
getting on 11.
okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. You're right. I gotcha.
I don't know, that big hydrangea, you don't think it would be too big for the?
Well, that garden is so like set back in all of the grass there. I think we need something that does have big blooms versus littler ones.
Mm-hmm.
And which garden, I'm sorry, which garden are we speaking of?
this.
Paw print.
It's this
Oh.
one. Is that right?
Really
Is it
pretty,
that
a
one?
No,
hydrangea
this
tree in
one.
there.
No. Yeah. It would. I think.
So like
Yes.
here's paw print
Yes.
you're getting on.
Getting on. Okay.
But
It's not this one. It's.
I'm just
is
thinking of
it-
an issue of like being
No.
able to
It's our
see.
garden number 6.
Okay.
Is that the notes from?
These are the old
Nielsen's?
notes. Yeah. So those.
I don't think that's correlated.
Yeah. I need to have. I need to get it out.
But like.
Okay, so the notes I have for this, checking that things are deer resistant, do we, as we go along, this would be all pink and white blooms, adding a native.
So you're kind of doing the general notes?
Yes,
And then we're doing garden
because
specific,
Sarah and I
doing
can
garden
meet with
specific.
him and
Okay.
go through all of this.
Great.
Yeah, so don't worry about,
Okay, I won't put all this on the minutes.
yeah, all the
Okay.
specifics.
Okay, then you're doing that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so sounds like we'll revisit, but overall, okay, right?
Sure, sure,
Okay,
great.
yep, I think that's good. All right, number 7, he wrote, that one is remove plants in island, prepare beds and install plants listed at Locust Hill and all Old Kings Highway.
So this is as
Oh,
you were
right.
leaving the Corbin district, so we lost one roadway island there with the construction, this is the one that's left.
Okay.
Locust Hill, Old Kings Highway.
So
So
that's the
think
one
if
you
you
go
were
under the
like
bridge.
driving by Barrett's, well, or let's say you're leaving Barrett's, so you're making a left on, well, that's Corbin, so one street over, like Locust Road at Old Kings.
Okay,
You go under the bridge.
Yes, yes.
right, is that the?
Yeah, so this one's been maintained by somebody, they just put in 5 boxwoods
Right,
and a
that's-
bunch of grasses recently, and I was
Yeah.
like,
I have,
oh, you know that we're taking those back. you
here.
see.
Yes, okay.
But, so, and we did reach out, in all fairness,
you.
we did say this is going back into the program.
I think
So-
Corbin must have popped some plants
Yeah,
in
I
there to
don't
make,
know
because
who
I
did it.
noticed they also planted some other random stuff along, just to make that like a little more
Yeah.
pleasing.
That's the
Thankfully-
one that I feel like from Nielsen's, I've highlighted here saying deer resistant needed, deer resistant plants, but
Yeah. It
Is
has,
Ilex already in there.
Lilac is already in there, so he mentioned putting in lilac, bunny grass, and the vinca. So it's not a whole lot, actually.
Well, and
It's not a big area
It's
either.
not a big
it's
area.
a tiny little island,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the amount
So
of
I was
ilex that's
fine.
in there is like this much.
Yeah, so I have a feeling once they actually plant, they won't use all the plants that they planted for that one. But I was happy with it, I mean, that's fine with
Yeah,
me.
I mean, maybe we could just add to it, so it's not such a big deal.
So he's saying 5, there's really nothing there. This is, I'll show you. It's literally like dirt.
Well,
And-
no, because it got replanted.
Oh, with the stuff.
Since that
Oh,
picture.
you're right.
It
Oh,
looks,
okay.
it,
The
it,
little things.
it does, it has
yeah.
about 5 brand new boxwoods in it that got put
I'll have to
in.
go by and look at it.
Yeah,
Are they boxwoods or ilex? Boxwoods?
I don't know the difference.
Okay.
I don't know. They look the same to me, but just that kind of look, a little ball.
Okay.
So I think we could take that off of here then, the 5 ilex, because there are a
Because
few
they're
of those there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he's saying 1 of the grasses and 4 of the vinca. That sounds about right. Maybe 3 of the vinca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, he's saying, what does that mean with flowers?
Okay.
When it says
Grasses
quantity
on here, that's a lot.
80 4-inch vincas, he's meaning like 80 little,
Yeah.
that seems like a lot.
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Right, because it's not that.
No, it's not that big. Yeah, I
And
think when
then,
we go through this, like, we're gonna be able to cut out a lot of money.
this was it last summer. This was it before it got planted,
Which
when
one
you
is
guys
this?
went. This one that we're still
At
talking
the
about.
bottom, yeah.
The bottom. So they got cleared out entirely and they planted it. And what Nielsen said is heavy weed removal, which was done. Keep Lirio, I don't know if that was done. Add deer resistant plants. Consider juniper or dwarf hydrangea. So anyway, I actually like the boxwoods or the lilac and
Like
the
the low
grass
lying
better. Yeah.
flower and then the boxwoods.
Yeah. All right,
The
next.
leaves will stay green in the winter too.
Yes,
yeah.
and that's what I really like about
Yeah.
those evergreens.
For sure.
So proposal number 8 is the Center Street at CVS. And he said remove existing plants and prepare beds. So here, what he had suggested was this. A bobo hydrangea, a rosa carpet apple blossom rose, and white vinca.
Can I see something?
Yeah, sure.
I like those roses a lot.
They're really pretty.
They're pretty.
Yeah.
And if they're maintained
If
well,
they're maintained, they're gonna be so
I
nice.
say we give it a shot. I
And
mean,
there's a, at that I have here, remove the stinging nettle and the Scotch broom. There was a big,
exactly. And leave the grasses, bearded iris.
leaves the grasses, the hydrangea,
It
Trim
looks
the
like they're
lilac
gonna
tree.
rip that stuff out.
the Scotch broom. It's
Scotch broom.
it's like got
Are
Tracy.
we, just out of curiosity, are we comfortable paying $71 an hour for labor?
Well, we're not paying it, the sponsors are. I think, we need to look at the labor costs, because I don't think they need the watering, but I don't think they need a pruning visit once a week.
No.
Yeah.
This is Scotch broom.
It's a lot to answer your
Oh,
question,
okay.
Tracy,
Yeah,
but
but
I
it
think
should
we're
be
just gonna
mentioned
have
in
to
college.
just,
Oh, yeah.
I do have confidence that these people do this in other towns, they know what to do, they have the background, I feel like it's a big cost, but, if we can get the sponsors to pay for it and then it's done properly and it's done right, I
Yeah.
feel like it's probably the way to go,
Okay.
to answer your question.
Well, I think this one sounds good.
I do too. Oh, my only question was, do we need natives? Should we pop in a native somewhere? Okay,
We should always have natives.
all right. We'll always have natives. We'll
Is
ask.
this the one that's like in the parking lot?
Yes, like if you're
Yeah.
parking at CVS, it's very long.
Yep,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Very long.
It's
Gotcha.
been a
Isn't there a
disaster.
tree there? Isn't there a
There is
lilac
a tree there, it looks like.
They're gonna leave the tree?
We have to go through with him what's
Okay.
gonna be left.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it needs, looks.
This tree removal is expensive.
Yeah, 'cause-
Yeah.
but it's nice to have a little shade.
I agree, I'd say
agree,
keep the tree
right?
if it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he's
agree.
saying I don't know how many workers it is, but 18 hours of labor to remove this stuff and plant it, like, that sounds about right there. Like, if you have 2 people for a day, I don't know.
It's a big project, that one.
I wouldn't be surprised too if once the labor is actualized, it comes down. I guess it just depends on the removal, how long that takes.
I think
it's gonna
it's,
look great when
Yeah.
it's done. It's gonna look
Yeah.
fabulous.
yeah, it really is. And I think he's given us an estimate, and he's done us a great estimate, but it's hard to know exactly, so we probably just had to factor in to the best of his knowledge. Okay, number 9,
That one I think we don't know.
we don't know what that is. He gave some pretty looking plants, but, don't know, so move on.
White and pink again, right?
White and pink, so generally, are we okay with white and pink?
Sure.
That, I like pink and I like white, so I'm
do
okay
too.
with
I
it.
think it'd be nice if maybe everything's white and pink, but then,
Little blue here,
yeah,
little
this one's got
purple
some
there.
blue, something
Little
to
yellow.
individualize it a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
yellow here or there.
Okay. Number 10 is the Welcome to Darien sign at exit 13. Okay, so this is actually quite a big site. So we should just determine how big this bed will be. I don't want the bed to get out of control. You know, we do need to kind of determine what the bed will
Wait, I'm
be.
sorry, which one are you on?
Number 10, proposal number 10.
Welcome to Darien.
Welcome to
Exit
Darien,
13.
exit 13.
There's roses there right now, right?
So let's find that one. So, and where our exits, and where our exits are, I would really love for us to do seasonal color. Like, I think where those exit or entrance signs are, or
Yeah.
welcome to Darien signs, I should say.
Yes.
I feel like those are ones that we should think of as gold. Like, these are,
Yeah.
we're gonna put in mums in the fall,
Yes.
and we'll, if we get bulbs, or we'll, you know, whatever we decide to do, whatever it is, doesn't
Yeah.
have to be those things, but I feel like those should be the ones we pay attention to.
Of all of our Welcome to Darien signs, and when I was going through and kind of labeling the gardens like gold, silver, bronze, this one location is really like when I was driving around trying to just find where our gardens were, I couldn't, it's a huge grass piece and it's
Yeah.
very in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, even though it's big and it's a Welcome to Darien sign, I labeled it silver because, and even with the larger sign size we would use there, and you're breezing by, like, you know, at the Sokeri, Welcome to Darien, or the getting off for the Corbin District, you're usually sitting there. This one,
It's true.
you're just driving by.
It's fun.
So in my opinion, if I was a potential sponsor looking at the portfolio, I wouldn't pick this one because you don't get, you have 0 foot traffic, 0 light keeping you there.
Right.
So I don't know in terms of,
Right, there's not even a light, you kind of veer.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
yes.
Right.
What, I don't have that one, what,
Okay,
how
Does
much
the traffic
was,
ever back up though to kind of make a natural slowdown?
not when I'm there.
Okay.
Me neither,
Yeah, that's why I hardly notice it because
Uh,
I
it-
just,
Nobody see it from the car
This
wash.
is a picture of it.
yeah, the car
If
wash.
you, yeah, from the,
Car
that's a picture of it.
And you know what is, speaking of this, what's
Visual.
always so, I never could put my finger on, is that the Welcome to Darien sign, like coming into Darien from Stamford on the post road that has like the Lions Association, like, you know, so right by that steakhouse.
Yeah, by the Jag dealer.
I've never
Yeah.
understood, no, not a Jag dealer, the other end, if you're coming in from Stamford.
By
Stamford line.
Giovanni's?
By Giovanni's.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
one,
okay.
somebody plants it and maintains it, and I'm assuming it's the Lions Club, because they put a sign there. But I've never understood why, if we have the rest of the Welcome to Darien signs, like how, I just wonder, like, how did that get established? And thankfully they plant it, but it's just kind of a nuance that that's the one place that's,
Yeah,
Well, maybe they had done it before we started doing
Yeah.
adoptive gardens.
yeah.
anyways, with this one, what,
Yeah, so for this one, he said, what he said was ilex, hydrangea bobo, the little bunny fountain grass, the rose container, and Cora white vinca. So the same plants again, same look as some of the other gardens.
Is it weird to have an adopt a garden under a welcome to Darien sign?
I don't think so, no. I'm noticing, so this one, because it's one of the biggest, so just to like quickly go through, so the Hollow Tree and Post Road was $1,400 for plants and labor. The Henley School one was $800 for plants and labor. Paw Print, $2,600 for plants and labor, and that's kind of a similar, the Paw Print one is really like a similar setting and situation. This one just has more grass around it. The Locust Hill and Old Kings Highway, plants and labor, $1,500. CVS, $3,000. So this one is
$5,000. So do,
Yeah,
I think we need to
okay,
Yeah.
we can, I think that's a great
cut it in
idea.
half.
Yeah.
Let's
because-
just tell them, we know this doesn't get the foot traffic, it doesn't get the slowdown traffic, we don't wanna invest this much money in it.
And also, like, you could plant around that sign. You could make like a circle of plants around that sign. It doesn't have to take up that much room to make it look nice,
Yes.
right? I mean, same with the
Sorry,
other
say
one.
that again?
You can plant around the sign and then the rest is just grass.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with a lot of these places, you can
And
do that.
maybe what we do, what do you guys think of this? Okay, so we have our sign and it has a bed around it. We could just tear out whatever's there if it's not good, have just a little circle of lilac all the way around it, and either keep, it looks like there might be a hydrangea in the middle, keep the hydrangea in the middle, or just put mums or seasonal color in there. Have it be
Right.
very simple.
Yeah,
Are we
Yeah,
talking about the
yes.
one on Ledge Road?
We're still talking about exit 13 by the car washes.
I have here,
Yeah,
one more
those
box
hydrangea
there.
trees are so pretty and they get that pretty pink tone to them in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
this
don't know
one
if it
again
has
is
one,
such a like literal drive-by. I think that it should be, like we're saying, really scaled back and,
Or maybe it's just vinca instead of doing the lilac border.
yeah.
Okay, let's talk to him about that. I like your idea, that's good. Okay, so next proposal 11. I don't know what that is.
Do you think we should just open up his email and go through those 5 pending ones?
Yeah,
That
we
way
can do
we've done
that.
it.
Yeah, I've got them right here.
So it's 3, if you wanna open 3, 4, 5, 9, 11. Oh wait, we didn't go through Darien Board of Realtors.
I know, we
Number
still have, should we just?
Okay,
Ms.
sorry.
Jay,
Let's finish these two.
Let's keep it going in order and then we can go back. All right, exit 11, proposal 11, my bad. I don't know what that was, so maybe we'll come back to that.
I just
Okay.
found mine, sorry.
Oh, good. Okay, so proposal number 12 was Mansfield Avenue at the Tilly Pond
so
Park
that's the
entrance.
one, that's the entrance into those, shops, right?
Yeah,
Right.
like, so if you're pulling into the Good Goods Brown and Co. parking lot, Darien
Yeah.
Board of Realtors,
But there are some roses there, they haven't been looked after.
yeah.
There are some plants there. I don't
So
think
we'll
we should
ask him
necessarily
what's
pull them
staying.
out.
Should we
Because they look
leave
pretty
it?
sometimes.
Like, there's not a lot of foot traffic there, like, would that be a good spot to have a pollinator garden? Like, the milkweed, the goldenrod, the roses are not looked after, this is what I have from, Palmer's, not Palmer's.
Which number was
Nielsen's.
it?
This one.
I don't know, I haven't really been by
okay.
and looked at it recently.
I go by it all the time.
I do too, and I think that you do sit there a lot because that light is
Yeah,
long.
it's a
And then
long
you're also trying to pull out of the parking lot, you've got major train station, like foot traffic.
Yeah,
In my opinion, when I went around, that one looked one of the worst. And now it does
Right.
have a beautiful new Tilly parking lot sign. It looks like the suggestions are the same, the hydrangea bobo white, which would look good, especially with the shiny white sign. Fountain grass, he did put in catmint there, which is nice, like to get the purpley blue.
Yeah.
And then vinca again. And I know that Darien Board of Realtors had expressed like continuing to sponsor that, which is good. So the price for this one, for the labor and materials, is $4,000.
yeah, that's a lot.
I'm trying to see what a lot of that,
It's a lot of.
He said 6 hydrangeas, 10 grasses, 10 catmint. 10 catmint may be a
I
little
don't
too
think
much.
6 hydrangeas
Yeah, that
could
sounds
even
big.
fit.
It doesn't seem like it's that.
The Vinca
Yeah,
numbers
right.
look right. Maybe the hydrangea's a little lower, so we'll go over that with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he's again saying 30 hours for labor, so let's say you have 3 guys there. I don't think that I don't think all 3 of them are gonna be there 10 hours, maybe that's more like 7.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know, and again, there's stuff we could keep there that it just has to be looked after.
yeah,
Those roses, you know, as scraggly as they are, they do bloom a lot.
They do.
I agree.
They do.
They do bloom a lot. They go for
Yeah.
a long time and they come back again sometimes.
Yes.
I love that about them.
Mhm.
And they're colorful. I like that. I like the color.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Great. Okay, so we were gonna go back and just review, I have open,
is that 14161?
let me go back. So number 3,
Yeah,
okay, number 3 is 14161.
and where is that?
That is
Okay.
Road and Heights train station, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could, I guess, set that aside for now, or I guess, is the town gonna pay to replant this?
So Ed said he would. We actually as a group need to discuss that because that had gone all native.
Mhm.
That was what you guys had planted, that whole
Yeah.
Right.
pollinator
2
pathway.
summers ago.
Yeah.
And then Ed had ripped it out because it didn't, he didn't know.
Right.
It was a
Well,
mistake.
in all fairness, they did construction up there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they did construction and no, but he said to me, the guys were like, what do we do with this? And he's like, I looked at it, I didn't understand because it had already gone dormant and it was all scraggly.
Mhm.
He's like, I didn't know. I think it probably looks like our pollinator pathway hill right now, just
Mhm.
kind of sticks.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of weeds.
Oh,
when it's-
weeds, so he didn't know.
Right.
So he had them dig it out. It was definitely not, my understanding was it was not intentional, it was a mistake.
Right.
So he said they would replant. Do we want to put in the same thing there? Was that a good place for it? I actually like Colleen's idea. I really would love to keep getting more natives and make some more
Mhm.
pollinator pathway gardens. I didn't know what the discussion was originally and why to put it there. Was it just because we had an open garden?
Well,
When we had an open garden and we had gotten money from Jim Cameron from the Commuter Action Group.
Yeah.
That was
So-
$500, right?
Yeah, and it was a one-time grant. And so it is kind of important because Jim really does, he is kind of key to a lot of our media stuff.
Yes, he's great.
Well,
And
he
you
does
definitely
this
want Jim
as
on
well.
your good side.
And
I mean, not
yeah,
as well, but
absolutely. And he puts
he's
up
79.
does so much work. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Totally.
Wait, so can I ask a
So I
question? The
think we really
pollinator,
need to make that a pretty garden. And we definitely, if Ed said he'd be willing to replant it, would he be willing to, spend that kind of money on it? Or,
I don't know.
well, the 500 went to that garden and then that other garden that's right next to the steps going up.
That's the one that got torn out, the steps one.
No, the one right by the
No,
right by the road got ripped up.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I
Right,
mean.
both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we
Between
can
two
copy
parking
some of
lots.
those plants and put them,
So then
Near
this
the road
one,
again.
how would we deal with maintenance and sponsorship? Because I don't think, Commuter Action Group's gonna pay for the watering and
Right.
so what happens to this, like, did that $500, what was promised to him for that? Like lifetime sponsorship or?
no, we just did it ourselves.
Yeah.
Juliet.
Yeah, we just did it ourselves
Tracy
and
and
we
I did
just, to thank him, we just put their name on the sign, which got stolen, so.
Annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but those were great plants
but yeah, no,
because
we
they
definitely-
didn't, initially we watered, but then
We
they
definitely
didn't
need to have it
need to be
maintained.
Oh,
For
yes, I
sure.
remember going over to water.
Elder
Yes,
had
yes.
actually expressed interest in maybe doing maintenance on that garden, so that's a possibility if we paid Elder to maintain it and not have, have it just planted and then have Elder maintain it.
I think that would get tricky if that's like the one garden that's not under the umbrella of everything else in terms of like maintenance schedule and.
So with that, are you saying, Tracy, we'd take it out of the Adopt a Garden program or?
No, we could still keep it in the Adopt a Garden program, we just don't necessarily have to have, a sponsor for that one, per se.
Who would pay for it then if it had no sponsor?
Well, if Ed's willing to do the replanting, that's the big chunk of it, and if we could just do the maintenance on it, have, Elder do the routine maintenance on it.
But why pay Elder to maintain it versus ELM to maintain it if they're already going around doing all the other ones?
I think because it doesn't have a sponsor. If it doesn't have a sponsor, then essentially it falls under, it is out of the Adopt a Garden program.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a
Would it
sponsor.
not have a sponsor? If
I
none
don't
of
know.
them have sponsors now.
I know.
Right, and it
Yeah.
seems like that would be a
Who's
really
sponsoring
good.
that one?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
would be,
Liquor store.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to take that one out of the program, to be fair.
No.
I think that's an easily adoptable one. I would
that's a great
say
one.
we keep it in the program, we do our sales pitch, we then reevaluate, because there might be some that are very unpopular, to your
Well, how about
point.
that entire shopping center across the street? So
Right.
they've got a little sign there as a reminder, before I go to my car, I'm gonna go in there
Yeah.
and buy something or get a drink.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we need to put everything in the program, market it all, try and sell it all. There'll be some, hopefully not many, but I imagine there'll be some that don't sell to
Well, we
sponsors.
have money in
And
the
then-
budget
and
for
we do,
that.
we have $8,000 in the budget, which
okay,
actually,
but
yeah.
so you're saying though that the whole reason that we're kind of stuck in this boat is because Parks, or Public Works accidentally ripped it up.
Mhm.
But it was $500 and it's a portion of that $500, it's not even the whole $500.
So there's
Right.
two gardens that were across from each other,
Mm-hmm.
like one near the sidewalk and one like, how would you describe it? Like,
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
you're walking up
Okay,
to
but
it.
so
you're
we're
on
talking
the
about
side.
$300 here?
well,
Yeah,
yeah, they gave a
voucher
one-time
lot.
$500 gift and that was it. And then you
Yeah.
guys were personally
Yeah,
weeding
we
it,
bought the
right?
plants and we
Yeah,
watered
well,
So it
them
just
up
kind of
above.
seems like with the money that we're
Yeah.
talking about, for
Elizabeth
$300 to
and
like
Colleen,
send that.
four of us, all, helped to maintain it, and we had Elder do a big cleanup at one point on it too.
Was the money that was given, was it dedicated to be specifically for that location?
Yes,
It was,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
why?
because
We
he's
bought plants with it.
on a commuter association or
Oh,
something,
so it was from the commuter, not town.
well, yeah, Jim,
No,
yeah,
it was
so
the
Jim
commuter
Cameron
action
gave
group.
it from this.
It's
Okay.
a commuter action group, not
Yes,
TV
thank you. Yeah,
79.
Okay.
commuter
So I
action
think
group.
we have to honor both situations, one, which is that we still need to sponsor out that garden, in my opinion, we can't just hold it just because they,
Yeah.
we will get another $500 equivalent worth of plants from, hopefully from Public Works, and then we should plant it somewhere near there and acknowledge it with a sign, but I don't think that we need to give that
Yeah.
whole garden.
Could we, if
to-
if that's the whole, could we do like, we do these beautiful baskets in front of town hall? Could we have the baskets, like in addition, the garden is maintained, but like maybe, it is such a not that, it's such an eyesore of a train station. If you had
Yeah.
just like two baskets that were maintained with that and they could have a little sign on those baskets and then so the garden is like Leary's Liquor or, Sam's Cleaners or somewhere or something, George's Greg's Coffee, whatever. And then those
Cute.
little baskets.
I like that.
that's
Or
actually a good
planters.
point. Is there a reason we
Planters, that's
never
what
have
I'm
had a
planters. Say
basket
baskets,
there?
I mean planters.
Great question.
Tracy, has that ever been discussed, having
Okay.
like two hanging baskets there at the train station?
Well, you kind of have to be careful because
Yeah,
technically we don't own that property, that's
Right.
DOT.
Yeah, true,
So,
true.
and
where
that's
do we
why,
hang 'em?
I had asked Ed for mulch for that
Yeah.
garden at one point too, and he said, and I had asked Anthony Campanella, and he said, that's DOT property, we're not really supposed to do anything on DOT property. So that's why we just kind of maintained it, and we had elder mulch it, so it's kind of a gray area.
So maybe we need to talk to Jim Cameron and say, he's aware that it got ripped out,
Mhm.
that we're replanting it, that we're sponsoring it, what all these gardens are gonna look like and do for our town.
I can talk to him, I see him twice a week at the senior
Okay.
center.
Thank you. I think it's really important that we're appreciative and we thank him.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that his gift is recognized,
Yeah,
but perhaps that we might change its location. Could that be the discussion?
And I think it's tied to the
Not
commuter.
that it still be at the train station.
oh, okay,
Just
Yeah.
to be at the train station and
Yeah.
acknowledged, because
Right.
it's commuters, so obviously it wants to be near the train station.
right,
But that's bit of land where people are in and out, I think that it needs something that will maintain like winter color or winter,
Oh, yeah,
you know, like
whatever.
evergreens.
yeah.
And
And I
maybe we could comp him a sign at his little relocated
Exactly.
location.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I didn't mean to
sure.
degrade the $500 gift, I just meant that it's tricky when it is so much money that you don't, like, although
Yeah.
it's very, very helpful certain places.
Right.
And right here, it's just, it's hard, keeping
Yeah.
us
Yes.
from doing a bigger project.
Exactly.
Well, and that was an issue we ran into overall, that someone would sponsor it once, or someone gave $500 once. But
Right.
then it was like, well, does that buy you this for forever?
Right.
Right,
Right.
okay.
Okay, how are you guys on time? Who has a hard stop?
I'm
I mean, I'm
fine.
trying to
alright.
get
I've got
through.
about 10 more minutes.
We have
Okay.
like 3 more,
Okay.
4 more.
Yeah, and, I wanna
I
get
think
through
we should
this.
get through these.
I
I don't
do
know what
too.
else is on the agenda, because
No, I was just looking
then
at
the
that.
next time we're together is March, and you and I can meet with him in the
Exactly.
meantime, but then we're at March, which
Yes,
is.
Yeah.
I know, because we need to talk about
We were goaling,
sales.
like pitching these, like now.
Yeah.
So we are
Yeah.
running about a month behind, I don't wanna back that up even more.
Okay, so we didn't go through, so let's see, did we just went through number 3?
Yeah, so do you have, his
So let me
proposal
pull up number
14162.
14162 is Pear Tree Point Beach.
Hey guys, that's what I was gonna ask you about Pear Tree Point Beach.
Now,
You know,
is
they-
that where the,
Hold
House
on, hold
Laundry
on.
Garden?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They
Go ahead,
did, they
Elizabeth.
did all that beautiful planting along the road.
Yeah, so all he did was put in grasses.
So,
To me, that would be where you'd add those bobo hydrangeas.
Because it even has water there, doesn't it?
Yes.
yes, it
Yes.
looks beautiful.
Yeah, so this would need.
When it's in season, it looks so nice. Like, do we even need to do Pear Tree Point Beach?
I think so, because it's right on the walking path, and it's, you know, it's our only beachfront garden in the portfolio.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
somebody would want that.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I walk there all the time.
Okay, number 5 is, oh shoot, he didn't include number 5.
Well, it's either the roundabout at Good Wives, exit 11 at Soquerie,
What about the one on Rings End? That's not the one on
Orban.
Rings
Well,
End.
let's do the other one.
Or
What
that
are,
one.
what are the other question mark ones? Number.
So you don't have 164, right? 169?
Uh,
3, 4,
So,
You have 3 there,
when
right?
you're coming from the dump.
I do have 3.
Norotan Avenue.
Yeah, 3
There's
is,
right when you come
Norotan Heights train station.
There.
Yeah, that's a disaster.
And I don't have 5, which else do we
Yeah,
need?
yeah.
5, we don't know, but we can figure that out by process of elimination. 6, we knew.
Invoice 14169.
14169, okay, that's number 9. That is 141, nope, that's 14168.
14171.
14169 is Circle at Goodwife Shopping Center.
Oh, okay.
It's maintained by somebody, right?
No, there's a sign, but
That's the one where the boxwoods are dead, right?
yeah, it looks bad.
Pink,
Yeah.
yeah, the cones.
That's the
are-
one that's been maintained by, it'll, you know, it's been, we get that check.
Right,
Right, I
Right.
get that check.
it's sponsored by somebody.
Well, it's got the sign for Erstab Biddle, and I think
Erstab
that's
Biddle,
what
that's right.
we were under the impression that recycling check was
Oh,
allegedly
right.
for.
Okay, so at this one, he suggested bird's nest spruce, which was a new suggestion, a hydrangea paniculata, Little Jane lime, nepeta, catmint, vinca white, and some topsoil. I said we need some topsoil there. So the nepeta is the purple here. These little
Pretty.
lime hydrangeas are pretty. Yeah, those are pretty. The vinca's pretty. Spruce, I guess, an evergreen. I do like that he considered evergreens. Getting evergreens in.
Drought tolerant.
Yes, because we have a lot out here.
So I personally love catmint. I love
do
that
too.
it gives color and
Yeah, me
that
too.
last summer it did so well. It was gorgeous. lasts a while, has color, so I'm a big fan of the catmint. Spruce is a green, so I'm fine with that. I think I love hydrangeas. I'm a little worried about the watering aspect of this. Are we signing up for a watering nightmare or like a big bill? So that is a little concerning to me. The vinca he's used everywhere. I'm assuming for good reason. We'll have to ask exactly why.
He had told me that it was like hardy, like good for all
Okay.
kinds of weather, and then provided that ground cover with all those green glossy leaves.
Which is nice, so once it comes in, it will help us not have to mulch or weed as much.
And you know, I was wondering, like, that'd be a good spot, it's not native, but for some Russian sage, it's a purple pretty bloom and it blooms.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I have some down there at the senior center.
Yes, I just a thought,
Yeah.
it's also pretty drought
Oh, very much so.
tolerant, so
Yes.
that,
I love that
I
stuff.
know it's not on his list, but I'm just putting
Did
it out
you write
there.
this down?
Yeah,
Jessica?
I did.
Great, great.
Because then it just gets like,
I know, it goes, it's very happy.
it's in my yard too, I love it.
All right, so you guys good with that overall, generally, that one? And we'll also
Yeah.
have sage? Number 11, sorry, I'm just trying to move along. Number 11 is, number 11 would welcome to Darien signs. Oh, no, never mind.
Very
70,
good one.
yeah, that was 70, so this one is. 14171 is Tokenique Road at 5 Mile River Road. So, at this one, he had suggested, this was a new entry, a red twig dogwood, a hummingbird.
Love it.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Hummingbird, the bunny dwarf grass again, nepeta, and vinca in pink. So,
Are we leaving the tree? We're leaving the trees there though.
I would say based on the labor, it doesn't look like there's any tree removal. I don't have a picture that shows trees. I know that's a
I
huge
don't-
one. What kind of tree is it?
I don't see a tree in the picture.
I thought in the picture, the one on Tokenique Road.
And 5 Mile River.
Oh, sorry, I'm at the wrong one, I'm at the school, never mind, got it.
Yeah, it looks like a big garden, actually. It looks like
Yeah.
it's been mulched a lot.
This one does need to be scaled back.
It should be
It's
scaled back.
huge.
It's too big.
And
You're gonna
it's-
have a hard time filling that all in.
Yeah, and the quote for this one is 5,000.
Yeah, scale
Next
back.
to that other one, this is the second highest one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this doesn't have like traffic, this is kind of just like local residential
Right.
traffic. It's not like the other locations where you've got people coming into our town who don't live here and
Right.
I also am wondering, should we set like a cap for gardens? Like if this is 5,000 and the other is 5,000, like what do you think the maximum we should spend for each is? Like, some of
Yeah.
them are naturally low, like the Henley one is like 1,000 because of its size, but do you think that for these few that are large, should we say like, I guess we can look once all the numbers are plugged in and rolled up, but maybe like 3,800 or something?
No,
I
I
think
think even
so.
less.
I mentioned this to
agree, yeah.
Kesty and she was like, for example, what are you thinking? I was like, I don't know, let's say a garden is 3,000 sponsors. She said, wow, that's a lot. You're not
Guys,
gonna
we're
get
not
many local businesses
We're
who
not.
are willing to do it.
I think we should cap it at 1,500.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff in these gardens you can keep, and he can work around it to keep that color scheme. He can move stuff. I think it should be 1,500 per garden. Because we are not gonna get the sponsors.
Well,
we-
we
the
know
ones-
David's gonna sponsor. We know that we could pull that one out.
Yeah,
I
but
think
he's
that-
unusual.
No, I'm saying, but that
Yeah.
one can be pulled out. We don't have to cap that one.
Yeah.
6 years ago, the last time these were sponsored by all the signs that, really the ones that we've all seen placed now,
Yeah.
it was $1,800 for a year, so that that was high. So if we're saying 3,000, so we secured people at $1,800.
Right.
So now, 6 years later and for 3 years, 3,000.
I have a question because, or should we extend the length of time of the contract? Should it be, instead of being a 3-year contract, because they might be like, I'm not paying $3,000 for 3 years. Should it be $3,000 for 5 years? Because really the big cost is up front. Yes, the maintenance cost is
Yes.
ongoing and the watering cost is ongoing, but the biggest charge is that
Yes.
first year.
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
So I'm
I think
kind
that's
of
a
wondering
great
whether
idea.
we, that's how
It's
we,
gonna give us time to
that's how we
advertise.
build the plants and the garden that we want, but justify it.
Yeah.
It's just a longer
I
contract.
agree, and in that form I
That's a great
did, I
idea.
got like math formulas in there and breaking out the year one costs, which would be the materials and the labor to install them, and the year one maintenance, and then year two is just for maintenance, watering, and incidentals like things that die, and then year three. So we can look at what the year one, 2, and 3 cost is, and then see if we rolled that out another 2 years, just the maintenance, you know, so like maybe it's 3 years with an option to extend at only, I don't know, you know, X amount per year.
But yeah, using that, whatever.
Yeah, we have
whatever
to see
numbers
what
out.
it looks like.
I think that's a great idea.
Also,
too.
can I ask a question? When it was the 1800, weren't they responsible for their own maintenance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did it.
See, we're giving them.
They
did it
did
and we
not,
did it.
that's why the signs say sponsored by and maintained by. So they, the land, like if you look at, now most of the signs
Okay.
have gone away,
So that
but-
didn't, that wasn't like here, just you get the privilege of a sign for 1800, but you have to then pay a sign.
Correct, the
Yeah.
maintenance was comped and that's a reason it fell through.
I see.
Is
Right.
that in exchange for maintaining
Okay.
it, a landscaper got credit on this little sign.
Gotcha.
But then
Okay.
they just like stopped
Okay.
doing it.
Right.
Can we talk quickly about what do we think the next steps are? I mean, do we even need to go through deliverables?
I have one
or-
more.
Oh.
His says Darien 5. It's either the Corbin District entrance
Oh,
or the
okay.
Soke one.
Okay, let me look. So 5 is not something he sent me,
It's
but
number
he has
one-
number 13. Is it 172? Oh, 14164.
14164. What's 172 say?
Mansfield at Tilly.
We did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just open them all up again. 14159.
Did that.
So what
Did
number are we
that one.
looking for?
His is
6.
14164 Darien 5.
So 59, 60, 61, 66.
Sorry guys, just 1 second.
No.
Oh,
So-
exit 11 south, no, it's exit 11, oh, we do need exit 11 south then, that's the Corbin one.
Okay.
So what number is that?
So that's 14166.
I'm so sorry, I have to go, but
Yeah.
I will watch the rest of
Okay,
the
great.
notes too this weekend.
All right, great. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for all this work, I think it's gonna
Thank
be
you.
gorgeous.
Yeah, you. All right, good. Okay, so 14166 is exit 11 southbound. So he mentioned the Bobo hydrangea again, the Rosa X Flower Carpet Pink Supreme Monrovia, and the Vinca in white. So those are all plants we've seen at other gardens.
So with this one, we had the Garden Club of Darien wanting to give money from their garden tours pre-COVID. They wouldn't tell me the amount, I'm guessing that it's a few $100s, it's whatever money they raised from holding the garden tour. And then they were looking for an additional sign, so maybe if the larger one says, Baywater Properties, then they get the smaller size one, like, that says something like with support from Garden Club of Darien. I don't know if that means they're gonna want for their few $100s to pick what it's purchasing.
You went on a walk.
No, I had a lovely conversation with her. I think she's actually watching our meeting.
Great.
But I'd be happy to talk to her about it. I am gonna go to their meeting in March, and I'd be happy to discuss that with her.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's all up for discussion.
So with their money, they could purchase the sign, and then if they want to
Which-
allocate it, this is at, I talked to him about it for a couple different times in the fall. This is if you're on 95 and you're getting off at 11 and you're sitting at the Whole Foods stop
okay.
sign,
I thought that was David Genovese. He's
Well,
not.
verbally, he's interested in it.
okay.
And he's also going to be installing some sort of like underwater watering for
Okay.
the area they're building now. So he's able to like run that over to that island as
Okay.
well. So I guess the thing to tell the garden club is, you know the pricing for the sign, if they want to use their money to buy a sign that says something like that they, supported it and,
Okay.
what they want planted with that
Okay.
money. But it just would need to tie in, in with the overall other plantings.
So we would pick.
Our experience with the garden club is they will give you the money, but they never do any of the maintenance.
Well, and that's what they said, they just wanna use the money to plant something, and she had initially said a tree, which I said you can't do a tree there because of the highway, and,
Yeah.
so that's it. So
Okay.
I think that we would need to work together to pick what's going there, and
Okay.
that they would just need to purchase that secondary sign.
Got it.
The only one I have that we didn't, so this must be 14164 then, is the Sokeri, the exit 11 from the north.
Okay.
Do you have that one, Darien
didn't
5?
send it,
Okay, well, I have
so-
it here. So
Okay.
this one,
He didn't resend it.
is he saying hydrangea, little quick fire, 6 3-gallon of that, and then a lot of, so he must be, there was a lot of really nice catmint there, so I'm guessing he's keeping that because,
Wait, is this the one on Range End
Picture
Road?
it.
so this is if you're getting off and you're facing, like, here's Sokeri and the art studio and a welcome to Darien sign. So there's a lot of catmint there, and this proposal's only less than 2,000, so I'm guessing this one actually looked okay.
Okay.
So I just need to
He,
double check.
he
that
just suggested putting in 2 plants there, which is the ground cover again, the Cora Vink, the Vinca Cora pink, and this little quick fire. Funny is, I didn't actually I like hydrangeas, I didn't love this one as much, but
Little quick fire.
that's what he had suggested for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And also on this sign, this is one that I think inadvertently got missed when they were replacing all the signs. So I
Yes.
told Ed about it a few months ago, so
Yes.
he was gonna order one
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's still dirty
to
looking.
follow up about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right, I know that garden. So maybe you just wanna put a little color in to match the other gardens.
Okay, so the notes I have to go over with him is creating a dollar cap for the garden, for each garden, really looking at these labor costs, removing the taxes, finding out what's staying in each garden, ensuring we have long bloom times, money to plant fall mums at the key gardens where there's welcome to Darien signs, and then popping a different color in each of the gardens to just differentiate them slightly.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And also,
I
No.
would tend to think too, like that Vinca, the Vinca Cora White and the Cora Pink, I mean, they're very pretty, but they're annuals, so it's gonna be an ongoing cost every year to replace them.
it is?
And I'm just wondering if there's something.
No,
they're
no, they're
annuals,
not
'cause mine
annuals.
come up every year.
Vinca? Vinca
Yeah.
is a,
No,
Perennial.
look at the one, no, because I think
Okay.
you're looking at the Myrtle, which is also called Vinca.
okay, well, let's definitely double check. We
Yeah.
definitely don't want an
We don't want
annual.
annuals.
Yeah.
He
That
didn't
was
put any
his-
other annuals, but
That was
I'd be
his
surprised.
go-to, because he said he's used it in the past and had such success, and that it was, not something that would have to be replanted.
And Alicia, if you could tell him too, that I think, a lot of his quotations was he thought that we had to use up all that space.
Yeah.
I think once he
Scaling
knows,
back.
That's
yeah,
a good point. Let's
we'll save
rein
some
in-
money there.
Yeah, let's put
So in terms of the timeline,
yeah. So for finalized pricing to publish to sponsors was still December 13th meeting. So
so
beyond.
we're actually 2 months
So we're now
behind.
2 months behind. So discuss sponsor packet details is next, and then set goals for onboarding, and garden installs in April comes after that. It does seem to me that there are a few things we could do in advance so that when we get numbers, we're ready to hit the ground running. And one of them was coming up with our sales script, because I think we're probably all gonna have to reach out to some, I have a feeling it's gonna be a bit of a sales push.
I was
Okay.
just gonna ask that. I know we're still discussing all this, but can we start floating ideas out there? Like, I mean, I go to Greaves Pharmacy all the time.
I would. I mean, I think that, because we're not committing to anybody. We haven't had any of our current sponsors say that they want to re-sponsor, but we have told them that once we have the numbers, we'll give them right of, I think we
Yeah, I
said it,
think
right
that'd
of
be
first
great.
refusal.
I think that's a great
sure.
idea.
But
I think the one thing we cannot do is utter anything about numbers, just
Right.
throwing
Correct.
out a guesstimate, or this 3,000 we came up with back of the envelope
Of course.
9 months ago.
Right.
And I'm not saying that Griggs is interested, I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
no,
I
it's-
go
Sure.
in
You're
there
there,
all the
standing
time.
I think it's
so-
fantastic.
Yeah.
To that point, I got, I went into FedEx to find out what, we had talked about like a coming soon sign.
Yes.
So I said, all right, double sided, I said, what's the standard size? He said 24 by 20 or something like that. It was like this. And double sided, I said, sure, what did it come to? It came to like $700 for 12 of them.
I think we could
Or
go
17.
smaller.
Said, I was like, that's a lot. I said, how about smaller 18 by 12 and single sided?
Yeah.
What does that come to for 17? $165.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
good.
I was like, well, that's good. So then it made me think, Tracy, we have the money, right? What do you guys think about us doing this coming soon sign?
I think it's
Soon.
fantastic
Me
because
too.
it's, and I think it was Kirsten who'd suggested it, because then you're advertising it.
Advertising.
Yes.
It will make our
We're
lives
committing to it.
easy. What's that?
And we're committing to
And
it.
we're committed,
Yes.
and it will make our lives easier when we start calling people, we'll say, have you seen those signs around town? Oh, yeah, I have
Yes.
seen those, I didn't know what they were. What it does mean is that I have a feeling, so we need to think about what's gonna go on that sign. Our logo, coming soon, and then where do you go for questions? It's gotta be our email, right? So,
Yes.
questions,
Well, and I think it needs to say something catchy, like I think she had said, like, your business name here, or something like that, that shows, like, who's bringing this to life, like, besides us with the logo, like, some sort of,
true.
making it clear, like, or available, sponsor me, like, something simple like that you can
Yeah.
quickly, largely see.
So we need to figure this out because.
But I don't know
yeah.
if we have to put our information on there, because it will say Darien Beautification.
Well, how about we put
But
a
then they
code, like one of those take
Oh,
a
QR
picture.
code.
You'd have to get out of your car to do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
know,
think you
but
need
I've
to
seen
see.
that on
We could do
other
both.
billboards.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, do we put a QR code cause it's just smaller and then that way someone can stop the car,
Yeah.
take a picture? Or do we just put Darien Beautification Committee at
Maybe our Instagram, but then it could be buried down. But I agree, I think it needs to say something like sponsor me, a QR code, our
And it's
logo.
only 12 by 18.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have a lot of space.
Well, that-
So we need to figure out
Yeah, you can't.
what
But-
goes on there.
But the main thing is that people see it's Darien Beautification, and I love that, sponsor me. And then they know to the town to go to Darien Beautification, but the main thing is, like you guys were saying, that when we start talking to people, they're like, oh, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, like I think
Okay.
it's a no-brainer.
All right,
Yeah.
so does it say sponsor me, contact, blah, 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 at email, and then our logo?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah,
a-
sure.
sponsor me large at the center.
That's
like,
the
exactly
clearest
that.
thing, sponsor
Yeah.
me,
And I think the Darien email, like you said,
okay?
and the QR code if it's a walker, and for info or something.
Or not for, well, yeah.
Sponsor me, or contact, yeah, just
Contact.
contact.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
then I just was gonna do our little logo. I mean, do we wanna do a QR code? I don't know how to do it.
I don't know, I don't either. We don't need the QR code.
Okay, I was like, in
Nobody's
case
gonna
someone
stop
wants
here.
to figure that out.
I
Yeah.
think they contact us, I mean.
Just,
Yeah,
it's just our email, right, and our logo.
Right.
and our logo.
Keep
They
it
can
simple.
put
It's
it
very
on our
small.
website.
Well, and those could be printed in the meantime, but we can just wait to go, they're like those like graduations,
Yeah.
middle school graduate, like
Yeah.
we can wait to go stake them in, I don't know, a month when we have, so that when someone calls, we're like, yes, that one is going to be X amount.
All
But
right, so I
completely
think
agree.
in advance, we can get the signs ready. I mean, they can do that in a week or probably
Yeah.
less. We need to get the script ready to go, so we need to tighten that up. Now, we have already written that letter once, but does anybody wanna jump on writing script? No?
Melissa could be good at that. I don't want to
Okay.
volunteer her, but I feel like could be
Okay.
good with that if she's interested.
Cause I feel like if we get our script buttoned up, and we've read it so many times that we're comfortable with it, we're ready to like hit the ground
Yeah.
running. Okay, so script,
On
coming
the,
soon
on the
signs.
sponsor me signs, whenever I see those, and I feel like actually now people have gotten really good at it, but like, you used to go by and it'd be small typeface, you couldn't read it. I think just as big, like less white space and just really like
Big.
large.
You think, yeah, okay.
I
I
like
think a
that.
white background with green lettering, so it looks sort of pretty,
Yeah,
okay?
What do you think?
and our lo-
And then
our logo.
and then the email in black, and then our green logo. I think
Yeah.
that would be sort of pretty but clear.
I
okay.
like that. Thank you.
I'm happy to run with that, that's fine. All right, I need to talk to you guys about the garden near Darien Fire Department very briefly because we did not get, the town did not want to pay for it.
Oh, right, okay.
But I have been speaking to a scout who wants to do it.
Oh,
So we've got
good.
a scout who wants to do it.
Okay.
And we've got a mason who had given us numbers. So I'm gonna work more closely with the scout because he has to, for his project, plan it out.
Mhm.
So
not-
their piece is like project management.
No, he's actually gonna, like, they can go out and get donations. So
Oh,
either
yeah.
he builds or gets benches donated, and he can get all this stuff donated, and then he works on planning it out. So I think there's a lot that we can get done manpower-wise with this scout,
And they have to plant too.
and they have to plant. And
Right.
so he can bring along his troop and they can plant.
So that would not be an adopt-a-garden then?
Not right now, but
Okay.
I think eventually so.
Okay.
But he can't do masonry work, and it needs masonry work.
Right.
So I wanted to ask our commission what we think about using some of our extra funds for us to sponsor that garden, to have the masonry work done there, under our budget.
How much?
That's a good idea,
Was
because
that
that's a very,
How much?
that's a very visual garden.
It's a very visual garden. So that's why I wanted to come back to the treasurer's report. Let's say we have an extra $3,000. I mean, the budget
Great.
gave me
I
the,
think so,
I mean, the
yeah.
Mason gave me the $5,000 budget. That, I don't know if we're gonna have that extra, but if we have three, what do you guys think about us using it towards
I
that?
think it's
Sure.
great. I think it's
Okay.
great. It looks, it's an eyesore.
So
right
we
now.
are 5 people. Can we vote on that? Or should we wait? Let's wait and find out what the costs are.
Okay.
And then come back, but okay, so we're moving, so I didn't know whether to keep pushing ahead with this, if you guys think, you agree, you think it's okay?
Was the
Okay.
$5,000 for all new stone, or
Yeah.
is he reusing? Can
No.
he reuse any of that stone?
I
So
know.
sometimes I wonder if they can reuse it.
I love them to reuse it.
Yeah.
But it actually included everything new and fresh and clean, so I'll see whether we can reuse it for reduced budget.
That might,
That would be good.
So
That's a
I'm
good
gonna
idea.
work with this scout, I'm gonna talk to Ed again to make sure we're still all good with him. And I'm gonna talk to this Mason again, and I'm gonna keep the wheels going, if you guys are good with that.
Sounds good.
And then I'm hoping we can get that garden tidied up. And then we can sponsor it eventually once it's fresh and clean. Okay, fall seasonal color at Veteran Circle, awesome, maybe we'll just put aside a little budget money for that, of our own budget. And I had sent you guys what, the fiscal year 25 operating budget request that I had
Yeah.
sent out. So this flags which was never under us anyway, was not approved. So I don't know what's gonna happen with the flags in town.
Where did we leave that? Were
but
we
you know
going
what?
to reach
Wait a
out to
minute.
monuments and ceremonies or
I
something?
did that, yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
wait,
I'll tell you
wait.
1 second. Yes, go ahead, Tracy.
I can get US made American flags on Amazon through our town hall purchasing, okay, tax-free, and they're like $40.
I know.
for one.
I know.
So why can't, how many do we need?
150.
Okay, I can't see that we, can't get some help with that and.
That's how I felt.
And to
So-
do it.
I reached out to monuments and ceremonies, they do not wanna do it. So then I let town
Okay.
hall,
Do
then
they
I
have a
let,
budget?
Well, how about Veterans of the Forum, how about the VFW or,
right.
I don't know. So I let Kesty know, cause she's the one that brought this to our attention, because those garlands went up, the flags had to come down, and I guess they got thrown.
So
'cause
we have
they were in such
nothing
bad-
for.
So we have
what's
nothing.
March, for 3 months from now.
Yeah, and so I've brought this, I've been emailing And I didn't get a response. I watched the video. It didn't get approved. I don't know if maybe somebody else is managing it. I don't know. That's the status. So I let Kesty know at Chamber. She was like, I feel like maybe one of my businesses would want to sponsor it.
Yeah.
She was like, this is kind of important to us.
Yeah.
So I don't
And it
know.
looks so nice when we put up the baskets
It
in May.
does.
You've suddenly got the baskets and the flags.
It does.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you guys know, I don't know how much to run with it. I feel like I've run with it a fair
Yeah.
amount and I kind of was told no, so I don't know how much more to do.
Right.
But I'm just giving you guys a heads up. And maybe we get, because they do look gorgeous and they look so good. And Public Works was kind enough to offer to put them up for us, which is
But not pay
huge.
for 'em.
Yeah, just somebody needs to pay for them. Somebody needs to pay for them.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
weird that we don't
Was
have
the
them.
throwing away intentional, they were that bad, or,
I never saw
because
them.
it almost seems like it would have been nice to have, like, if we weren't gonna easily replace them, to have them
That thought has crossed my
as
mind
just
too.
so.
I would have preferred to have had tattered, worn flags
Yeah,
for another
nothing.
year than nothing. But I wasn't in charge of that, and they were gone by the time I got wind of it. So
How
I
many
didn't.
flags did you say you need?
I was told 150 flags.
And on Amazon,
And then-
American made, those are like $20.
Yeah. So what happened was I noticed that our state representative had this link to American-made U.S. flags
I
that are
saw
approved.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I sent to Jennifer and Kate Buck, just to let them know that if we wanted to order them, that we could do it through our state representative. Or not state representative, whoever that was.
Senator.
Senator,
We
through our
don't know who
senator.
originally got those flags.
I mean, I'm looking at these 3x5 flags on Amazon right now, and 3x5, and they're $16.89 a piece.
I know, I mean, we could do that, I just didn't know if.
Well, I
I'm
saw
fine
the
with
same thing
But by
from
the
the
way-
senator, so that's $3,000. I mean, it's a lot, but
So we need to come back to our budget and do, which is kind of what I would like to do, but I guess we're probably running out of time today. But I'd really like to, because I do think the flags are important and I'd love to get that garden done. So, but we need to have some thoughts about prioritizing and figuring out where our budget is.
Yeah.
Tracy, would you be able to do a little projecting for next month? Like putting in what, once we receive the funds back, what we receive and what we're gonna have to spend? Let us know exactly where we are
Yeah.
with what we have. I think if we do some projections, we will then be able to prioritize fall seasonal color, flags, dairy and fire department garden, determine what's most important to us, where we wanna spend money, where we might be able to cut money, that sort of thing. And then we can maybe vote on that next month. You guys think that's good?
Sure.
All right,
Sounds great.
all right.
Just out of curiosity, you know, in a doctor garden too, we do have $456. So,
Sweet.
you know, which we could use. That Amy Smile garden, was that that wasn't one of the adopter gardens, though, was it?
no,
No,
but I
because
have a
it's
note on
memorial.
that spreadsheet, thank you for bringing that up. For the signs that we purchased, besides us buying one for Amy Smiles, do we need to buy any other ones when we're replacing the signs so that the Amy Smiles gets a new
Well,
one? Are there
yeah,
any
Marina
other
Stewart.
signs of gardens that we have?
I think so.
Yeah, that
Okay.
Marina Stewart garden.
Which
needs a
one?
sign, right?
Which one is that?
Who?
Verena
Yeah.
Stewart.
The VMS
Oh,
Stewart,
okay.
VMS garden, Marina Stewart.
Where is that again?
That one's over by,
I
Where
guess
the heck
it's
is that
listed
one?
on our website.
What's it by?
there's
She was the
$3,000
former,
of
I
that.
think she was
on
the
that
former
Marina Stewart
garden club
garden.
president a long time
Oh.
ago, so it's a memorial garden to her.
Yeah.
But we don't maintain that, is that the garden club maybe?
Is it by the trail?
No, it's under us.
No, but
Do you guys weed that?
where is it?
Where is it, Tracy?
I'm drawing a blank,
Okay.
Because I know,
but
I've heard of this garden, but I can't picture where it is.
Amy Smile's the one right by Lafayette.
Well, that I
right?
know, I've worked on
Okay.
that damn one
Here,
for
I'll
years.
pull up our
I hate it.
website.
I have some other
It's
questions.
so hard.
I have some other questions I want to pose to you guys, and
Okay.
I know we're going over a
I'm
long
okay.
time. Okay. These are some thoughts that I've had in the middle of the night that I'm just throwing out there
Okay.
that we might need to come back to, but I'm just going to throw them out there. Okay. So when we're working on our script, we need to know who the check's written to. Will that be the town of Darien? Where is the money coming into? Tracy, what do you think?
Darien Beautification Commission.
Okay, so that's one thing we need to think of. Another question is, are we going to allow memorial gardens? If someone wants to say, yes, I'll spend $5,000 to own that garden, I want to do it in memory of my mother, are we going to allow that?
I don't think we can take on anything else.
No,
What do
no.
you guys think?
What do you mean? It's
No,
just like
instead of a
instead
corporation.
of
Like if
instead
I
of
wanted to
Reed's
say-
pharmacy buying it, what if
Or
Smith
anonymous.
family or anonymous
Yeah,
wants to?
I think so.
Why not?
Okay, I agree.
Okay.
I agree, but I want to make sure we're good with that. I don't know if
Okay.
there's any
Good
pushback.
question.
Are we allowing?
Sponsorship.
It's sponsorship is okay, good. So that's why I just was like throwing these little questions out there because these will be questions that might come up when we do our script, when we do
Okay.
our calls. Are we allowing private non-businesses to sponsor? If it's just a gift from the Smith family,
Sure.
Sure.
right? I think so too. If
It's not the
some,
same thing?
it's the same thing, but
Make
just
it
a
funny or
nuance.
not.
But a nuance. I didn't know if somebody would mind like a Smith family donation is fine or gift is fine, but don't want memorial because that's maybe, I don't know, just asking questions.
The police department do one for Dan Anderson retiring, or Chief Anderson retiring.
Yeah, so we can get creative when we're making these
Yes.
calls. Hey, police fire department, do you wanna do this? So, okay,
That's
do we
cool.
prioritize calls?
On that thought, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
only interrupting
Yeah,
because of time.
it's good,
On that thought, on this sponsor me or whatever sign,
yeah.
do we, I guess then we'd get inquiries, cause I could see an individual writing or someone like, oh, for my mother, or. So I guess there's nothing probably more specific we could put on the sign, like businesses, people.
Well, I actually kinda like the sponsor me because
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
It's very
It-
open.
it's very open.
Yeah.
You might have some family that's like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
wanna do that. I drive by that garden all the time. I can't
Yeah.
wait for it to look
Should we
nice.
say on there, no maintenance required? Cause I think that, like, sponsor me, ooh, I don't wanna plant this or maintain it. Do you think it should say no maintenance required? Or no work required, or how do we, so that
I'm
people-
just concerned that our
Check.
sign is so small that we don't wanna say much. I think we just say, sponsor me, questions,
Yeah.
and our
okay.
email.
Let them
And
inquire
let them
about it.
inquire, and we can be like, and we can start talking it
Yeah.
up, maybe.
Okay,
I like the idea, I just think we gotta keep
I
it
agree.
clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why can't we have Marley send out a blurb too?
Yes.
On his website.
Yes.
What we're looking for sponsorship, and what it would entail, and that's where you can put out all that information.
I
Okay.
love it.
So
Okay,
that
and
could
we'll
come in
also
a few
have,
weeks.
so when we have our, I keep calling it a script, but you guys know what I mean, like
Yeah.
our marketing push, like message scripted, then we give it to Kesty to let the chamber know, we give it to Marley to let everybody in town know. We have our signs up, people will start connecting it, we brand everything with our DVC logo, so they start seeing that.
Can't we put
I
it
think
up on Facebook or
Instagram, and we put it on Instagram for sure. We'll put it on our website.
And I think it should be, like you just said, coordinated, like the week that it goes out in that town blast, we've put the signs up a couple days before. Like, I hate for those to sit there for 2 weeks and then that
Okay.
goes out, like kind of
Okay. We'll
I
have a
agree.
plan.
yeah.
On that note, I have been checking the email myself. I think it's actually the role of the secretary, I believe. But we might need maybe everybody
Yeah.
to maybe take a, I don't wanna just push it off on Kirsten.
Yeah.
I'm happy to keep checking, but it occurred to me, maybe we all just have the login and we all
Sure.
just periodically check.
Sure.
Yes.
And that way take a little pressure off, because
Yes, a
if
lot.
we do have it,
Yeah.
and we do wanna, one, stay on top of it,
Mhm.
and two, just take a little pressure off, because we'll start hopefully receiving more inquiries into there.
Yeah, and then we can always like reply all, so we can see if one of us
Right.
replied.
That being said, you're probably dealing with the Instagram, so you don't need to do it. You don't need to check the email, because you'll
Okay,
probably be
yeah.
responding to the Instagram stuff. Which if that gets too much, let us
Oh,
know,
it's-
we can
I
also.
wish it would get too much. I was just gonna say, kind of on that note, to close it out, like,
Yeah.
looking at this timeline of the whole project management for the Adopt a Garden relaunch, we're actually 3 months behind, because at our November meeting was when we were supposed to review the proposal.
Mm.
So we are running 3 months behind. So based on that project flow, we talked about mid-April planting. I think we could make a month up, but I think now we're looking more like June, just so everyone.
Can we do that? Can plants be planted in June?
Yeah, I was just thinking that if it's hot, right? I mean, maybe it could be complicated. Maybe the fall might be even.
Well, can't we plant in May?
I think May would be better.
I think if everyone's, I don't know. To be honest, like, just so you know, like, going through these proposals and putting this all together took several hours, and now it'll be several hours of tying his maintenance quotes and filling in these proposals we didn't have ties to. Sarah and I have to meet with him to go over it, coming up with the final numbers that we're all comfortable going to sponsors with. I don't, and now, like, there's a school break next week for a week, so you're losing a week there.
It's a time
But
crunch.
I know Amanda's away for the March private school break, which is 2 weeks. I don't see any way that, like, May would happen.
But maybe what we'll do is, we could put those signs out and everything. Maybe we end up getting a couple of sponsors, and then at least we start, like, maybe it will be patchwork.
We know we have
Yes.
David's, and by the way, we
And then
did get,
that's not bad.
we did get $8,000 from the town, well, for next year, I guess, but to maintain unsponsored gardens, so.
I mean,
Maintain
because
what?
then, even if we get like 2 or 3
Unsponsored.
done,
Oh.
then we put those on Instagram, and we put those and say, look what your
That's
garden
true.
can look like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, we had talked about what's
I
a
don't know.
realistic number that when we release these 16, like, how many are actually gonna happen in April? Because we do have over the summer, fall, ongoing installations. I can't see it on here, but I think we had said, we were hoping to get 6, like, for our initial launch, like 6, like basically 1/3 of them desired to be sponsored.
How about this, how about, because it does seem really disappointing to wait till the fall, how about we know we have one sponsored already?
Yeah.
How about we launch that one?
But I've planted stuff in June, like, why,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think June, it's not August.
That's fine, if ELM says
And
we
we're
can
paying
plant
for
in
the
June,
watering, and we're paying for the coming by.
if we can plant in June,
Yeah.
let's plant in June.
We should also ask him as well.
I just
if-
hate to wait till the
if
fall for
what
everything.
their like,
Me too.
like guarantee is, like I've planted stuff in my house
It's in
and they
there.
give you a 1-year
It's
guarantee.
in the contract,
Okay.
it's 1-year guarantee
Okay.
on the
You
plants.
guys, I gotta go.
Yeah. All right, great, so wait, we have our meeting to conclude. Anybody additional new business? I think we covered it, right? All right, let's adjourn, the time is 11:06, do I have a first and second? All right, thanks. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
That was
thank
good.
you.